The bakery on station Kepler 442 smelled of sweetbread and synthesized vanilla, a small oasis of warmth in the cold metal corridors of deep space. Isaac wiped grease from his calloused hands with a rag that had seen better days, eyeing the display case with the weary longing of someone who'd spent 14 hours straight repairing a malfunctioning gravity generator. Behind the counter, the Centaurian baker's scales gleamed in the soft light, ancient, mechanical, precise. Nothing digital, nothing that could be hacked or corrupted. Just honest weight and honest price. That's when he noticed her. She was small, even for a Quilksan. Her crystalline skin refracted the bakery's warm lights into tiny rainbows that danced across the walls. Her species was known throughout the galaxy for their mathematical genius and their fragility. Bodies like living glass that could shatter under the wrong gravitational stress. This one couldn't have been more than 7 standard years old. She stood on her toes, peering into the display case with eyes that held entire nebulae. In her translucent hand, she clutched a single credit chip. "The purple cake," she whispered to the Centaurian baker, her voice like wind chimes. "How much?" The baker's 4 eyes swiveled to examine her, then the cake, then the ancient pricing slate. 15 credits, little one." Isaac watched the girl's shoulders slump, her inner light dimming slightly. She placed her credit chip on the counter with the solemnity of someone surrendering their last hope. "I have 10 cents, she said. Not 10 credits, 10 cents. 1/100th of what she needed. The baker's expression didn't change. His species didn't deal in charity, only in the precise exchange of value for value. "I'm sorry, small customer. Perhaps the day-old bread?" "It's for my brother," the girl interrupted, her voice cracking like ice under pressure. "It's his hatching day. He's sick. The doctors say—" She paused, her light flickering. "They say he won't see another cycle. He told me all he wanted was something sweet, something he'd never tasted before." The bakery fell silent except for the hum of environmental systems. The Centaurian baker stood motionless, bound by the commercial codes of his people. To give away product was to invite chaos, to suggest that value was arbitrary. Isaac felt something twist in his chest, that peculiar human thing that the other species found so baffling. Empathy that extended beyond pack, beyond species, beyond logic. Humans weren't the strongest species in the galaxy. They weren't the smartest or the fastest. They didn't have crystalline minds or quantum processors for brains. What they had was this: the ability to see suffering and decide it mattered. He stepped forward. "I'll take that purple cake," Isaac said, sliding his credit chip across the counter. "And whatever else the young lady wants." The Quilksan girl turned to him, her eyes wide, her entire body brightening like a small star being born. "Sir, I cannot accept—" "You're not accepting anything," Isaac said gently. "I'm buying a cake. What I do with it after is my business." He looked at the baker. "Pack it up nice, would you? It's for someone special." The Centaurian processed the transaction with mechanical efficiency. But Isaac could have sworn he saw something shift in those alien eyes. Recognition, perhaps, or confusion at the illogical human before him. As the baker prepared the cake, Zoe, that's what the girl said her name was when Isaac asked, told him about her brother, about how they'd come to the station seeking treatment that their homeworld couldn't provide, about how her parents worked triple shifts at the processing plants, how she spent her days in the hospital ward, reading to her brother, telling him stories about the stars. "Why?" she asked finally, as the baker placed the wrapped cake in her trembling hands. "Why would you help someone you don't know? Someone who isn't even your species?" Isaac knelt down, meeting her galactic eyes. He thought about the war that had brought him out here. The one humanity had fought when the Kresh hegemony decided Earth's resources were worth more than Earth's people. He thought about the Centaurian medic who'd pulled him from a burning ship, the Quilkson engineer who'd taught him quantum mechanics when everyone else said humans were too simple to understand. Because someone once told me, he said, that the measure of a species isn't in their technology or their conquests. It's in who they choose to be when nobody's keeping score. He smiled. Besides, I was going to buy something sweet anyway. Now it actually matters. Zoe's light blazed so bright that Isaac had to squint. She clutched the cake to her chest like treasure, like hope made tangible. "Thank you," she whispered. Then, in flawless English that she must have learned just for this, "Thank you, human." As she rushed toward the hospital wing, Isaac turned back to find the Centaurian baker watching him with all four eyes. "That was inefficient," the baker said. But his scales, those honest ancient scales, tipped slightly, and from beneath the counter he produced a small bag. "Day-old cookies, for the brother, no charge." Isaac grinned. "Didn't think your species did charity?" "We don't," the baker said firmly. "But we do honor debts. Your kind fought for this station when the raiders came. Perhaps it's time we remembered." As Isaac walked back into the corridor, his stomach still empty but his chest somehow fuller, he understood something the galaxy was slowly learning. Humans didn't just survive in space. They brought something with them, something that couldn't be quantified or sold. They brought the radical idea that kindness wasn't weakness, that seeing someone suffer and choosing to help wasn't illogical. It was the most logical thing in the universe. Behind him in the bakery, the Centaurian baker adjusted his scales and smiled with a mouth that had never been designed for smiling. And somewhere in the hospital ward, a dying Quilkson boy tasted purple cake for the first time, while his sister held his glass-like hand and told him about the human who proved that the best things in life can't be measured in credits. Only in moments. Only in kindness. Only in the choice to be better than survival demands. That was humanity's fuck, yeah.